Hello and welcome. So today this slightly sprung upon me. The beta version is finally available for you to have a look at, and we are really excited and want to just have a good walk through live with you, answer any questions and have a chance for you to kind of touch and feel it if you like and find your way around this new version of Ecamm Live. So if you're joining me, let me know in the chat. That'll be really cool to see who's on with us, and yeah, we're going to get into this. So it's now I've called this Ecamm version 4 beta, just because it's actually version 4.0 B16. And I'm like, you don't want to hear that. We're just going to call it the beta version of version 4, right? Now, if you remember a few months back, we got the first installment of version 4, which did the multi-streaming and all these really cool features. So we're not particularly looking at that one. Hey, Jake, good to see you. We're looking at the updates. I've really got about, I think I've got about three kind of main highlights that for me are just like, this is what I've been waiting for. Super excited about it. And so we're going to get into this. Richard, great to see you too. Yeah, loving the update. Now, remember that this is still in beta. So, and I know I'm going to get questions as we go through it. You know, is this available yet? So it's been, we've been playing with it for a little while. It's now in beta to be tested out. And the idea is usually by the time it gets to beta and you can get your hands on it, it is pretty stable already. We're live streaming in it right now. Total confidence in it. And once people have had a chance to go through it and fix it and there's no bugs coming back, then it ends up rolling out to the latest version for everybody. And I've put some links in the description if you want to, if again, I'm trying to preempt the questions that are going to come. If you want to, if you're not already on Ecamm, well, we've got an affiliate link down there if you want to take a 14-day trial. But more importantly, if you're on Ecamm, but you don't know how to get involved in this beta and have a look and play with it, there's a link down there. It's totally free. You can just head over to, I think it's Ecamm/beta or something. It's down there in the description, and you can have a play with this yourself. It will install a fresh version, so you'll have your original Ecamm and then you'll have the beta one. You can switch between the two, and what you'll find is as you create scenes and build things and overlays and that in one, then it's available in the other one as well. Super cool how that works. So that's kind of that's what it is, Ecamm Beta, that we're going to have a look at. And what is it really that for me has got me really excited about this? Let's have a look. Presentation. What's this? Not seeing what you say. Good to see you, Nobby, by the way. Anita too. So the main thing that for me has appeared over here is, actually let me just minimize it first of all. We're going to do a lot of live demo mode screen sharing. Oh, wrong window. Let me come over to this one. And so this is live demo on my desktop. I know, it's lovely and tidy, isn't it? So let's have a look. So over here at the minute, this is the camera switcher that we're familiar with. Let me just zoom us in a bit. So up till now, you know, I've got, as you can see, I've got two cameras selected on here, and actually notice Camlink 4K, Camlink 4K 2. We're going to come to that in a few minutes as to how this is improved. But if you're familiar, there's not a lot changed with this navigation, but they've just slipped in at the top there. Another little button for us, and it says hide, show and hide the switcher window. So let me click on that, and here is the new baby. So this is our camera switcher. In fact, what I'm going to do is just pull this up a little bit so that I can get all this up here without, I want to keep us nice and zoomed in like this. Come on. We'll come back out a bit and go up there. There we go. Right. So this is the new switcher window. What this has done, and it will look different probably when you can play around with this. Like everything else in Ecamm here, we can kind of resize it and play around with it. And so what is this showing me? I've got my iPad connected. I'm using it actually as a monitor up here at the minute. But I've got then this Cam Link and the Cam Link 2. And as you can see, if I just click on there or I click down here, we've got two different camera feeds coming in at the minute. Now, so what? You know, that isn't really a huge difference to having that. Well, I say that. One of the things that we didn't like was that this little switcher down here, or a lot of the requests were asking, could we get a bigger monitor so that we can actually see what's going on that other switcher? So straight away, even with that, it's allowed us to be able, I can zoom this in, I can resize this. And as you can see, you know, I can have a nice big preview down there. And if I kind of come back out on my window, where do we settle it? There. So I've now got this nice window area down here that I can lay out my screen. It's always interesting seeing how different people lay out their screens, but you know, I can adjust this and move it around however I want. But this is where it gets cool, is at the top here. I need to stop fiddling. Right, let's put it there. At the top here of this camera switcher, it says all sources, and that's showing my two cameras and the iPad at the minute. Then I come across to this AB, which I'm kind of requesting that we can change this to profiles. But what this is doing is now I've got on here cameras A, B, C, and D. All right, so I've got multiple cameras on here. And what it allows me, you'll notice that cameras A, C, and D are basically the same camera. What's really special, there's tons. We're going to spend a long time on this feature because this is the big one for me, really. But one of the cool things with this, you know, when I said this, like Cam Link 4K and 4K2, if like me, you're used to having more than one camera plugged in, or maybe you plug another, maybe it's a laptop or something that you're also sharing into this and you're using that as another feed. If like me, you've potentially created a whole load of scenes, and I do this in my presentations sometimes, and I will do, you know, I might have 50. I think we did one webinar where actually I had over 100 scenes because all I wanted to do was just click next, and whether it's a slide or a video or whatever it be. Well, you can do all that, and then next time I come back to it, what was Cam Link 4K is now called Cam Link 2, and I would have had to go through every scene and change the camera to reselect it. So one of the cool things with this is this, why I'm saying it's a placeholder really, is instead of, I could still create all those scenes, and instead of selecting Cam Link, I can now say I want to select camera A. And so I can allocate camera A to all of those positions, or, you know, however I want. Maybe it's a picture-in-picture that's sitting at the top. Well, instead of selecting specifically the Cam Link, which can change around, I can now call it camera A, and then from this switcher, I can change which camera I want to be camera A. Does that make sense? So that's huge. If you've ever had that frustration, and if you haven't, brilliant. But if you have, you will know how frustrating that can be when you go, oh, my Cam Links are being read the wrong way around. So that's huge, that we no longer are going to allocate places for Cam Links. We're going to allocate spaces for camera A, camera B, and so on. And again, this is something else that I'd love to see, is at the minute we're called camera A, camera B, and so on. I would love to be able to double click that and edit it to call it front camera, side camera, overhead, or zoomed in. So these, I mean, it's in beta, and I'm really hoping that these couple of little things will get added in. I think Ken kind of hinted at it yesterday. Hey, Glenda, good to see you. Mauricio, good to see you. Yeah. How about all the zillion scenes on... Yeah, absolutely, Glenda, on that, when we did the one for the rocket launch, James Webb Telescope. Yeah. If we'd have changed that, if for example, and actually that's a really good idea, Glenda, you know, we created that separately. We were working with it on a laptop. Owen was putting all that together, creating all these scenes out, and we've got to allocate a camera to it. Now, we would have done Cam Link, and then if we'd have got there and it had been different, we'd have had to change them all around. Now we could just allocate camera A, and then when we, you know, exported onto the, or imported onto the actual machine we're working on, all we've got is camera A, and we decide what is camera A. So I really love that feature, and I think it can seem like such a tiny thing, but if you've been there and you've played around with these things and it's fallen apart, or it's not fallen apart, it's no fault of Ecamm's, it's just that it's something that they hadn't anticipated, I guess, and if you've been in it and you've been frustrated by it, yeah, you'll know what a big deal this is. So, okay, let's continue in this. So what I can do in here is, now with live demo mode on, let's see what else I can do with this camera switcher over here. So that's cool in itself. What about, let's say, okay, camera A now is my main camera that's coming through here. What about on camera C? And notice that I can go straight to my camera effects from here. I don't have to open up the camera effects window and move off somewhere else. If in camera C, I decide, well, let's zoom in a bit on this one. And which again is why I'd quite like to be able to change camera C to be able to say zoomed in. All right, so now I've got in here my two different cameras, and I could select between them. So this is the main camera, and now camera C is a zoomed in version of that, for example. Where this was really good, so Owen and I have been, we were just running our YouTube Academy over the last 2 weeks, and Owen and I are sitting side by side on here. And so, you know, I'm here, Owen's sitting here. What we were doing, and where we ran into a bit of a problem really, is we wanted to be able to bring the comments up on screen, and either one of us sit either side of it really. And up till now, if I apply a camera effect to this main camera, so in this case it's camera A, if I go and, you know, in the past, if I'd have zoomed in on this, so I'm sitting over here, and we could go, right, we're gonna create a scene that if Owen wanted to do some work over there, then he could cut to this camera. I should have done this on another one, shouldn't I? Don't worry, we'll go back down here. Let's so we've got one camera here like this, which is both of us talking, and then we want to cut to just me. So now you can't see Owen in the scene, and then we want to have another one. Let's just edit this one down here, and what we weren't able to do was in the same scene have a different camera effect applied to the camera. Not sure if that's making sense. What we can do now is, if I zoomed in over here, and let's imagine Owen sitting this side of the room. So now what I can do is I can actually bring in, so we've created, this is the main wide shot. This is zoomed in on me. This is zoomed in on Owen. And what it would mean that we could do is to create if I were to create a new blank scene in here and put a source in like this, and I can say, let's bring in a camera, and look, so now up here, it's not asking me for cam links. I can choose camera A. So I want to say camera C. Oh, that's interesting. That's scene specific. So I need to duplicate that, not create a new one. Did you see what happened there? So if in this scene I go source blank, and I'm going to select a camera overlay to go over here, and I'm going to say I want this one to be, what will be, camera A is zoomed in on me, and I can actually go custom on this and potentially, or I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll just trim that over that side a bit. So I've now got me over this side, and I can create another one and call it camera C. I'm looking down below there. And so camera C is the one with Owen in. And so I could create something like this, and then in the middle here, bring my comments in or share my screen. So now in the same scene, we've got multiple cameras that we can choose between, and we've certainly found that. So even if you haven't got multiple cameras, you can still use this feature from in the camera switcher to create this effect of having more than one camera working from this. Does that make sense? Hopefully not going too far or too deep onto that one. For me, that was huge, and really enjoying that. Now, we were also playing with things like the green screens and things that we could also allocate. If you'd got a green screen up behind you, you could have one image behind you as one camera, and then change it and have another image behind you as another camera. So you could almost play with this and cut between them. Yeah, so real flexibility on this. And I think, as I say, that cam link to be able to now be talking as camera A, B, C, rather than the actual name of the cam link, which gets really stuck. And the ability for us now to play around with one feed, or, you know, maybe I could change this to black and white on one of them or something like that. I could allocate that just to one camera. You can, I'm sure, think of lots of potential and ideas as to what you could do with this, really. But yeah, all there inside this camera switcher. Now, another thing you can do if you want to is under these three dots up here, let me just zoom in a little bit again. We can actually show the source in a separate window. So now camera A has just popped out here. And if I did the same down here, show it in a separate window. So if we don't want to have the switcher open, but actually we could have and resize these different feeds like this, if that helped somebody, and to be able to, maybe it's a sporting event or it's a church or somewhere, and you want to be able to see which camera am I cutting to, are they in focus, is it ready to go, right, camera B, go, you know. You can have all this open to play with like this. You can also allocate, you can mirror it as well, that's another effect. So if you wanted this to be used as a teleprompter for somebody, although you wouldn't do that really because it's only going to stay on this camera. Let me bring this back open. I'm going to close these ones down, and let's just say a source video monitor. So again, different scenarios for this. You know, if somebody wanted to be able to view on a separate monitor just one camera feed, you could do that. So I can point that monitor sitting behind me is this Dell. So if I change to that, now all of a sudden this camera A is being fed back to that monitor. Yeah. So again, for some of you, you'll go, oh, this is a feature I've been waiting for. Others of you are thinking, nah, got no need for that. But I want you to see that it's all here. Right, what haven't I said? So that's opening separate windows. Camera effects are in here. Yeah, so even if you only have one camera and don't really intend to use more than one camera, still that ability to cut in and use it like that. And even to even your phone. Maybe, if you haven't really got another camera and you're not really set up for this, maybe try attaching your phone and having a play with that. Or maybe there's a time when you want to be able to shoot down and have that second angle. Lots of ways you can use this, and yeah, really excited for this one. Yeah, Anthony, great stuff for church. Absolutely. I think when we were, a couple of years ago, when we were in the thick of it, there were a lot of churches that were really saying, we need this ability. And a lot of people were then having to use an ATEM Mini or something that would give them a good size preview to be able to cut across to those different cameras and feeds. And I think we plugged in, did we have 8 cameras going the other day when we were testing this? Yeah, we had 8 cameras plugged in. Well, not 8 physical cameras. Well, actually, yeah, what? 5. 4. It just went like that, and I said 5. It's 5 o'clock. So he'd got 4 physical cameras attached, phones, FaceTime and things, and then on different ones, he sort of put an effect on it and things, and it was fine. It wasn't playing up or slowing down at all. So let's see. So you can put an external guest solo on a big screen now. Yeah, there you go, Benno. That's absolutely a feature that you can do with this. Yeah. Anything else I'm missing there? Yeah, please fire away as well, guys. If you've got any questions about this as we're running through it, yeah, we'll hopefully give you a chance to jump in and just we'll try it out for you. So the other thing, ISO video recording is, again, another, for us, this is something that we've been really waiting to see. It's kind of been teased there for a while, and we're super excited that it's here now. So what does this mean? Well, you see down here these different cameras that we've got attached. One thing for me, I do a lot of tutorials, recordings like this, and for me, if I'm sharing my screen, in fact, I don't even know if this is set up. So chat, where will screen share tell me? Probably up there to my notes page. Nope, nothing attached. I haven't got a window open. 2 seconds. Right, let me just pull this down here for now. Let's pretend that we're doing a... I can do a better one than that, can't I? No. So if, for example, okay, I'm doing a tutorial and I'm sharing my screen, but then I suddenly get to a point of it where I realize that this camera source over here is in the way of that video, I can't do anything about it afterwards when it's been put together. Up until now, all I've had out of Ecamm is that feed there. Yeah, so I've got this camera over here, and I've got, it's literally just what is seen on the screen, what is being fed out live to you right now. Now what I'm going to be able to do is have, and again, I really hope this is going to come very soon, is to see, I'd also like a screen recording option in here. But what we can do in this is, if I go into the settings over here, we've got a new tab called recording, and this is our isolated video tracks. That what it's saying is I can record all broadcasts. So at the end of this live, I'm going to get a clean feed of camera A. I'm going to get a clean feed of camera B, and the same for my guests as well. So whether they're on screen or not, or on half a screen, or, as I say, kind of picture in picture while we're demonstrating something, I get to the end of this and I'm now getting a folder of all of these individual video tracks that in editing I can bring them together and decide afterwards whether I wanted that person full screen or, this is so cool. If you're demoing products and things, to just be able to hit record and know that everything's going, and then you or somebody else editing it can cut between whether you wanted the product shot or the face shot, wide shots, different things. Again, a really powerful feature. And as I say, one thing I would love to see added to that is actually your screen. So like just then when I'm showing a screen share demo, it would be nice to know that there is a clean feed coming in from that Chrome browser or whatever it was I was choosing. So maybe there. And then I can actually change around the different audio as well from these if I want to. So I can choose whether or not along with that camera input, do I want audio? Do I want it to be the program audio? Do I want it to be my primary mic in front of me, secondary mic? So I can allocate that. And the same will happen with an interview, that I can have the audio from the guest as well, recorded separately. This is a big deal. Okay. That we got down here. So there's, and this as well, because there was this countdown. So got added into it with record only, that there is a countdown in here. Not everybody's wanting to have a countdown in there, so you can turn that on or off if you want. But yeah, that's the kind of record only bit. What else was I going to show you quickly? We're really getting to the end of this. What I should have said is that the ISO video recording is a pro feature, and you do need to be on the Apple Silicon chips as well, the M1 chips. Yep. Okay. So the last bit that I'd got, let's just see. Isolated video recording, Jake. Absolutely. It's huge, isn't it? And again, just thinking back, Anthony just said over there about a church setting, to get to the end and potentially have had a full feed from all the different cameras that you were running, that kind of, or an event that you'd set all the cameras recording. Massive. So we can put an external guest. So that, yeah, did you mean that if we pulled in an external guest, we could send that guest feed exclusively to a monitor so that the host only sees the guest? Jake, you can do that anyway. So not in that case. No, you can't send back to the guest a camera. You could if you'd got, if it was someone that's, well, no, it wouldn't be them, would it? Maybe somebody's wanting to monitor and just see that guest feed separately, or you want to have it on a big screen to see whether they're ready to come on or something like that. But if Jake, if that's what you're trying to do is for your guests to only see themselves, there's a little button at the bottom left of their window that flips between whether they want to see the live stream or themselves. Hey James, great to see this. Just plan to start some lives. Fantastic. Oh no, just got an A10 for that function. Well, it isn't quite. We're still in beta, yeah, but it'll be coming very soon, I'm sure. I think this has been a long time already kind of in development, so I think for it coming now, they're pretty happy and ready for it. Yes, Russell, it just keeps getting better, doesn't it? Absolutely loving Ecamm. So one of the other last things that I was going to say, so we know now that, and I can't show you it because I am live, that we're multi-streaming inside of Ecamm. So we can go out to, whereas we used to have to use Restream, we can now go out to LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, whatever other destinations we've got. We can do that inside here. That was already in beta. We've been playing with that for a few months. Notice up here now that when I come in to the top of my window, if I click on this, so we got 22 people on at the minute. When I click it, look at this. It shows me where people are viewing from. So nobody's viewing from LinkedIn, according to this. 15 of you are on YouTube and 7 of you are on my Facebook page. So that's really useful to be able to see that. And I do know that it's going to LinkedIn, because sometimes you go, I'm not sure whether this feed's live or not. There's been a few times when LinkedIn has played up for us. But this tells me that it is live and it is broadcasting. And I believe, I'm not quite sure, I haven't actually played with this yet, but I believe I can turn one of these off. I don't know what happens. I'm slightly scared to touch it. I know from the release notes that we can actually stop one or another of these partway through if we wanted to. Now, why would you want to do that? My thinking is that potentially you might think, okay, we're doing this live broadcast out to all of these different open channels, but I'm also going into my exclusive Facebook members group. And maybe you could say, right, okay, we're stopping the stream now to all the public ones, but we carry on now and we chat into the group. I think that could be really powerful, actually, to be able to do that. And, you know, those of us that have got memberships and the likes, to be able to say, right, everyone gets to watch it, but you guys get to do the Q&A bit at the end. And instead of having to jump over to another destination, you can now just tick off those other ones and stop the stream over there and exclusively continue to one destination. So I think that's pretty cool. And actually that's kind of me wrapping up. For me, they've been the big highlights that I've been excitedly playing with in the background for a little while now. And yeah, definitely switching over to beta now for all of these streams. There's so much been added into this, isn't there, with that multi-streaming? Almost take that for granted now that we can multi-stream out to these destinations from here. It's very easy to organize as well. We can schedule, you know, we've done this academy where we've been going live every day for 2 weeks. Well, we can have all of those listed up ahead of us, and it just sort of says your upcoming streams. Easy to, you know, in advance, I can just I don't have to go out to Restream or anywhere else if I suddenly decide, right, let's add something to the description on these different channels. It's all happening from one place in here. Now with this camera switcher, we've been able to record all of those clean video feeds separately. This is just becoming such a powerful tool. I absolutely love it. So what have we got? So Jake's just put, let me just see if this chat is coming up. There we go. I need to decide what's coming into this. 2 seconds. We want the comments and reactions. So want our host, who sometimes is guested in as well, to only see the other guest, not the live preview. No. Okay, so you're saying that when they're doing an interview, they only want to see the other person, so it feels kind of like a Zoom call or something. Is that what you mean? Where have I just gone with that? I've just got rid of my overlay. Where's it gone? There it is. Sorry. There we go. Bring to front. I'm messing about with it live and I shouldn't be. Yeah, if you had. So if you got a green check test. Yeah, Brad, actually, I don't know if you've seen this, but this is something else that you can do in here is with your stream. It actually tells you, let's go back into live demo. So let me back up. So into my preferences here, and under the stream tab, it will actually show you that required speed for 3 destinations is 15 meg, and it's given me a tick because it's saying that we've got 674 meg. So it will show you in there in advance of you going live that it'll tell you on there. It's got Ecamm has now got an inbuilt speed test, and which is again a fantastic, like, it's just these little features that get added in and you can almost overlook them. So as I'm building this out and I'm adding destinations, if I'm choosing 4K, you know, this is going to tell me on here, oh, this is going to take this much space. Yeah, so much cool stuff in here. What else have we got? So if you've got stream part of a YouTube, then close it off. Yeah, that's a good idea, Jake, isn't it? Your own mug club now. It is great for memberships, Glenn. And I think, you know, to be on live and to be saying, right, now I'm going to continue this over in my membership. You know, you guys that are in the group there, hold on, we're going to come and do some Q&A. And certainly if you're interviewing a guest and it was that kind of exclusivity that I'm going to bring them over here, you know, and you're saying, hey, but if you want to join our membership, you know, there's details below type thing. I think, yeah. Yeah, you got to, Anthony. Yeah, well done. Yeah, they're absolutely amazing, aren't they, Glenda? Come on. Good stuff, Tim. Yep. So really cool. That's my little roundup. Just wanted to get on here and do something live with you and highlight some of these key points that for me have been really standout features that just keep getting better. And then I did hear, I don't know if you heard Ken and Glenn yesterday, I should link to that one as well when they introduced this and unpacked it. Ken did kind of hint that we want to get this one out because we're already starting work on the next one, 4.1, and we're just going, really? Oh, what's coming out? What else is coming? So yeah. Fantastic. Who knows what's coming next? But there you go. That's the camera switcher really, and the ISO recording, and then these extra features that we can do in our multi-streaming. So I hope you've found that useful and enjoyed that. Do go and download it and have a play with it. As I say, if you're not used to working with the beta, it just sits as a completely separate one. So if you're a bit hesitant and you want to go back to using the main version, stable version, you can absolutely just click over, and all your scenes and everything that you've created in one will appear in the other, obviously, unless they're features like this that won't carry on to the original one. But there you go. Hope you found that useful. I will leave you to it, and have a great week, guys. Thanks for joining me. All the best. Bye.